Next is PDS, public distribution system. PDS, public distribution system. So next topic is PDS, public distribution system. Okay, just write one line there. It refers to the system of distribution of food grains, or essential commodities, by the government to the public at subsidized price through fair price shops. It refers to the system of distribution of food grains or essential commodities by the government to public. So government to public at subsidized price. Otherwise it is not required, you can get it from the market. Subsidized price through fair price shops. Fair price shop means the ration shops. Okay, so next point you can write. It is operationalized by FCI. It is operationalized by FCI on behalf of central government. It is operationalized by FCI on behalf of central government. It is responsible for procurement. Storage and transportation. So you have to procure the grains, you have to store it, transporting to different fair price shops or different states at least. Okay, so it is responsible for procurement, storage and transportation of food grains. Now, who is responsible for the distribution? The state government. Just write, the state government is responsible for distribution. So FCI is responsible for procurement, storage, transportation. Distribution side, it is the state government which is responsible. So right, the state governments are responsible for distribution of food grains and other essential commodities through fair price shops. Distribution through fair price shops. Okay, now so FCI will sell the food grains to state government, right? So first FCI will give to state government, and then state government through fair price shop will sell to public. Now FCI will sell to state government at a price which is known as central issue price. Just right, if food grains are sold by FCI to states at central issue price, CIP. Okay, now the state government, so finally at what price the public will get? Public will get the food grain at issue price. Public will get it at issue price. So FCI will give it to state government, and public will get that price is what you call as issue price. Now is this possible? Central issue price more than issue price? Is this possible? Or let me ask you, can issue price be more than central issue price? Is this possible? Can issue price more than, that means state is charging something extra. State get from FCI at central issue price, and when giving at public, can state charge something extra, +1, +2, +3, etc.? Is it possible? It is not possible. So issue price can never be more than central issue price. Issue price cannot be more than central issue price. Now can it be less? It can be less. Why? When the state government is also giving a subsidy over and above the subsidy given by the center. For example, you can see Tamil Nadu is giving rice at 1 rupee, right? Even before this Food Security Act and all this, Tamil Nadu government is giving rice at 1 rupee. So how is that actually happening? Not other state government, because that government is giving some other subsidy over and above the central government subsidy. So issue price can be less than central issue price, but issue price cannot be more than central issue price. Right, one more point. In 1997, PDS was restructured to TPDS. PDS was restructured to TPDS. That means Targeted Public Distribution System. This is Targeted Public Distribution System. So here the main change made is actually the population divided into two categories. So population divided into two categories means APL and BPL. So now what is the issue price for a issue price? Let's say issue price. What is the issue price for APL and what is the issue price for BPL? We will discuss. Now also there is a change under Food Security Act. There is a change. This also now restructured. But still under TPDS for APL it is the economic cost of FCI. For BPL half of economic cost of FCI. Okay, so I've told you, see issue price, right? So issue price is different for APL and BPL. It will be economic cost of FCI for APL, those who are above poverty line, and those who are below poverty line, it is half of economic cost of FCI. You know what was the question, prelims question last year? What is this economic cost of FCI? Simple question last year, 2019 prelims. Nothing more. It is very easy. Economic cost of FCI. So economic cost of FCI means what? It is nothing but the total cost of FCI. What is the total cost of FCI? It includes entire cost like storage, transportation, procurement. I have told you this is what is the role of FCI? Procurement, storage and transportation. Procurement there is a cost, storage there is a cost, transportation there is a cost. That is the economic cost. And half of that will be for BPL. Economic cost is what for FCI. So this was actually the question. What is economic cost? What is economic cost? It is a cost of, storage, transportation, procurement, which is incurred by FCI. Now see, what was the issue here? The issue here is after some time APL stopped buying this. Why APL stopped buying this? You can think logically here. APL is getting at economic cost. So when the FCI is procuring, procurement, okay, and then storage, I've told you issue with storage, and there are issues with transportation also. So ultimately, when you take the economic cost, that is becoming more than market price. So for APL people, it is felt or it is seen better that you buy from the market than going for fair price shops. So APL people stop purchasing under this economic cost, because economic cost of FCI is going beyond the market price because of the inefficiency in all these aspects.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, is this...
Now, you can write in 2000, one more division was created in 2000. There is a third division, that is Antyodaya household. Like Antyodaya Anna Yojana. Antyodaya Anna Yojana was initiated in 2000. So Antyodaya households was created. Under the scheme, the poorest of poor, even from the BPL itself, poorest of the poor, 1 crore household is identified. So 1 crore households of, identified from the BPL who are the poorest of the poor. Okay, and they will be provided food grain at a very high subsidized price, like 1 rupee for coarse grain, 2 rupee for wheat, and 3 rupee for rice. So 1 for coarse grain, and 2 for wheat, and 3 for rice. So they have been given highly subsidized food grains. Okay, now it is actually increased to 2.5 crore households, not 2.5 crore people or population, households. One household average, how many will be there? 5. So how many population, what is the average number of people who's getting this benefit? Around 12.5 crore population is actually getting the benefit under Antyodaya. We will discuss about this, okay? Later also we'll discuss about this. Tell me, Anjali.
Sir, how state can classify the poorest of the poor? I mean, by the STSC commission or data from there, or by survey?
It is a responsibility of the state to identify on the basis of consumption expenditure data which is collected by NSS. So various aspects will be taken that I will see when we discuss about NFSA. I will tell you how state is identifying people. The responsibility is actually given to the state government to identify the people. Earlier it was based on, see this one when we are discussing about here, it is BPL and APL, right? So that is easy. How to get that? You have a poverty line, right? Poverty line by Suresh Tendulkar, you have a poverty line by Rangarajan. So I've told you it was not valid now. Even this is also not taking into consideration. So this poverty line is actually dealing from all the welfare schemes because of the criticism from Suresh, even from the Supreme Court also. But see, what I'm saying is, here it was based on poverty line. Like if you're above poverty line, there is a poverty line, no? Let's say 22 rupee or 28 rupee. If you're above this, then you will have to buy it at this price. If you are below this, so it is identified on the basis of poverty line. But now, because of criticism from, even from the Supreme Court of the Suresh Tendulkar poverty line. In fact, I have discussed, you joined late, so you don't know about that. You can cover from the video. So actually, because of that only, all the welfare schemes are dealing from the poverty line. So now the responsibility of identifying the beneficiary is actually with the state. So state will identify. We will see that tomorrow in the next discussion. NFSA, National Food Security Act, will discuss. Okay, so here one more point that is related to allocation. Allocation under PDS, if you see, initially 10 kilogram per month per household. It is actually increased to 20 kg later, and further increased to 35 kg. So this is the current allocation. And this wheat and rice ratio varies between states. This allocation we will discuss more detail, and different sections, how they get, how much they get in detail, we will see under the Food Security Act. Okay. So like priority household is there, they will get 35 kg. We'll discuss that. Antyodaya household also get 35 kg. So one more important concept that we need to discuss is problems, issues. Problems or issues of PDS. Problems or issues of PDS. One, most important one, leakages. First one, leakages. See, mainly by government official, corruption. I've told you this rotten food grain is in high demand, so purposely it will get rotten. By the quota holder also. See, you are supposed to get the best quality food grain from the fair price shop or the ration shops. Why? Because farmer is selling it firstly to the government. So government is getting the best quality food grain. So when the government is distributing, you are supposed to get the best quality. But is that the case? No. Why? Black marketing. The quota holder is diverting it. Okay. So whatever is coming to him, he is diverting it to others, and he sell the cheap quality one. So you can write there leakages, black marketing. And Shantakumar committee said there is a 40% leakage. Okay. TCS also conducted a survey, and based on that 30% leakage. And in fact, the leakage is actually much more, not only 40 or 50 or 30, beyond that. Second point, poor quality of food grain. So I've told you all this already, this point, poor quality. You are supposed to get the best quality when you are getting from the FPS, because FCA is actually getting the first quality from the farmer. So you are supposed to get the best quality, but the problem is all adulteration, right? With the middleman and all these quota holder, adulteration is actually happening. Third point, late and irregular arrival of grains. Late and irregular arrival of grains. Late and irregular arrival of grains. Next point, regional disparities in distribution. Regional disparities in distribution. Even in distribution also there is a regional disparity. There was a study which was conducted in 1995, and as per the study, the states like Andhra Pradesh, okay, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu accounted for 49% offtake, and the Bimaru state, the poor states that I have discussed before also. Bimaru states, off-take is actually 10%. So these states 49%, Bimaru states 10%. So there is a huge regional disparity you can see. Then you can write also urban bias in the initial phase. Urban bias in the initial phase. Next point, limited benefit to poor, especially migrant workers. Now that problem is solved because of portability, but just write that limited benefit to poor, especially migrant workers and people without proper registered address and people without proper registered address. Next, it resulted in increase in food prices. It resulted in increase in food prices. How is that actually going to happen? Because this will reduce the supply in the market, right? When FCI is procuring, supply in the market will come down. So what will happen? When the supply is coming down, the price in the market will go up, because food grain is actually with the FCI. In market, the availability is less. That means supply is less. So the demand is there. So the price will go high. So it resulted in increasing food prices. Next point you can write, inefficiencies in operation of FCI. Inefficiencies in operation of FCI. And who have to take the burden? It is ultimately the government have to take this burden. So what is better option? Better option is, rather than procuring and giving DBT, direct benefit transfer, is better. You leave it to the market, let the people purchase from the market, and government will pay the subsidy directly through the bank. Why? Because in market, people will have better, there is an incentive to do better. The market will try to be efficient, and market will try to go for, I've already told you, economic cost of FCI is more than the market price, right? So this situation should not be there. So you leave.
Sir, the people also misuse the DBT. I mean, the alcohol addict people using their benefit.
Actually, the scope of misusing DBT is limited compared to this one. Here the scope is, obviously scope is there, but it is limited compared to this. And here it is very easy to identify what kind of misuse is actually happening in case of DBT. Right? Okay. Yeah. So tomorrow we'll discuss about NFSA, food security components, etc. And then agricultural insurance.